Doing good.
Good, good.
That is Jamal.
Yeah, buddy. On the
All right,
road.
how you doing?
Good.
All right, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Thursday. Got any new people? So we're going to get kicked right off to start how we usually do with testimonies. So, first 15 minutes or so, anybody want to share anything that has transpired in their business between now and last session, which was last Thursday. So any customer acquisition, especially this time of year with it being wave season, which we're going to talk about this evening. But anything you've experienced in your business, from personal travel to, your relationships with your clients, new clients, loss of clients, roadblocks, anything you want to share, the floor is open. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Tasha.
Why did I get called out?
Oh, I thought you had your hand raised on the.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay,
I'll go
my
ahead.
bad. That was my eyes playing tricks on me.
It's okay. Well, I did acquire, I wouldn't say a new client. So I had booked a birthday getaway, a 30th birthday getaway, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. And yeah. And so one of the young ladies from the group, she reached out to me last year because she wanted to do a 30th birthday trip for her husband. Well, this year is her 30th birthday, and so she reached out to me again. So whereas we didn't put anything together for last year, she's really focused on getting this trip up and going. So I would say a past client, but not initially. So I met her in just in the transactions that had taken place while I was booking the initial trip for her friend. So I have that one, and then I have a group that's going to Vegas in April that I'm working on. That's about all that I have as far as acquisitions. I haven't lost any clients either. But I've taken the suggestions that have been given and just kind of behind the scenes been doing things within my group. But I'm getting ready to get back into posting and being more intentional and consistent in my post.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So the Vegas trip, was that, because you said they're going to April, right?
Yes.
Were those new clients?
So this will be the first time that I booked anything for this particular group. So yes, but I mean, it's a family friend. So yes, it would be a new client.
Good stuff. So the reason I ask that is because this time of year, I know we keep talking about wave season, but it is important. A lot of people are reaching out. This kind of stuff we're going to touch on tonight. A lot of people you'll see are reaching out this time of year. You see posts about travel. You see people talking and asking for recommendations about travel and travel plans, because this is the time of year people get their vacation allotment for work. They start planning for spring break if they're planning late, summer break, even fall break for next year, fall travel. So you start to see a lot of people starting to plan travel now. They say it's one of the busy periods. So that's why I kind of asked that question, because I know myself, I guess it's my testimony over the past week. I've acquired at least 6 or 7 new clients just from reaching out, and most of them have been, a couple were existing clients, the rest are referrals from existing clients. So people really looking to travel, and this is all travel one is for next fall, but everything else is within a 6-month period from right now. People are looking to travel. So definitely a busy time. Anyone else want to share anything?
Hi, this is Tamika. How y'all doing?
Hey, Tamika, how you doing? Doing
I'm
good.
good. I'm good. I want to say really quick. I have a group. These are new clients. What? No, I'm lying. They're not new clients. The person I'm speaking with, is new. I'm new to talking with her. I booked them to Vegas last year, and they called me back again because they love the place that I sent them to last year. So they called me back, but it's a whole nother group. She just was within that group, so she bringing in another group of people to go to Vegas. So that was good because they had a good experience from the last time. And then I'm still doing the wedding for Cabo. I'm still working on it. It's a lot. It's a lot. Still doing the wedding for Cabo for June of this year. And I got a group that just not emailed, but went to my website and just want to go to Israel. So it's supposed to be like 50 plus people. This is a church group, which, I do a lot of church bookings too within my church itself. But this is for a church somewhere. I don't even know these people, but they was referred to me that I'm supposed to be doing for Israel for a group of 50 or more.
Oh, wow. Congrats. When is the Israel trip?
If this one's going to be in 2021, but they want to go in April of 2021. Yes.
So already starting for planning for next year.
Right.
That's good stuff.
They want them to have a good amount of time to pay for it because they know it's going to be, a good amount of money. So
right.
They have the opportunity to be paying for it in advance.
Exactly. Yeah, I've noticed too. I always say you want to plan in advance because a lot of people do plan travel out, a year in advance, especially, considering what type of travel it is. Like you said, if it's especially cruises, you have to think, we've had a cruise planned for 2021 since the beginning of last year. So, people do plan well in advance. So don't be afraid to start setting up during this time as well, setting up for 2021 so you can kind of be ahead of the curve as well. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Tamika.
And to piggyback on what you just said about, I think you was talking about the posting and planning and all of that. It's very true that I've been getting a lot of my people referring clients to me from my posts, me just posting in random places or whatever. And people just posting my own stuff, and sometimes I post clients things or whatever. So they're reaching out to me just based on that as well.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Anybody else have any testimonies?
Yeah. Hey,
still got a few more minutes.
This is Jamal.
Go ahead, Jamal.
Yeah, I just pulled off on the side of the road and booked a 5-day trip to what was that? Costa Rica? Dreams, La Marez, whatever the name of it.
Las Marias, yeah.
Yeah, so they called and he emailed me, and we've been having correspondence. You and I have talked about this, so you kind of know the story. But they finally pulled the trigger, and one of the things I had to do to get them to pull the trigger was, I think he's about to sell out. So, and he actually, I think he spent like $5,000 with me today. And we're gonna do Planet Hollywood a little later on. I got to do a price match because I don't want to go through a certain vendor. I want to go through Chick-fil-A. You guys know who Chick-fil-A is. I booked another cruise yesterday for my group. That kind of blew up, and people been reaching out. Like Tamika says, people are reaching out to me from referrals from other things that they see online. So it's been busy, and I want all you guys to realize this. Don't worry about who you lose. Just worry about what's going to come to you when you lose that person that you thought was going to book with you. Because I told you about my cousin. My cousin, pegged me for some information and went with someone else, but they wasn't about to spend almost $6,000 with me. So that's all I wanted to share.
Good stuff. That's a good point. Yeah, when you lose a client, you can't just dwell on it. If somebody says no, or they decide not to do business with you, they disappear, whatever the case may be, I guarantee if you're doing the right things and you're consistent with your business, marketing, everything that you're doing, then the business is going to keep coming to you, may come tenfold. So yeah, definitely don't worry about that. That's a good point. Anybody else want to share anything?
I want to share something. Hi, my name is Lynette Clark.
Hey, Lynette, how you doing?
All right. Um, I watch from a distance and I go back and listen to a lot of y'all's talks. I've been in the travel business maybe just a little while, and I've learned from a lot of the things that y'all said, far as following back up with people and just putting your things out there. I put stuff out there all the time. I don't get a lot of likes, different things like that, but I get a lot of people inboxing me and they book like that. And I'm learning that your family and your friends are not the ones that are going to book with you. It's always strangers. And I've gotten more cruises booked from people just random, just looking at stuff on my page, just watching what I do and just seeing me just repeat the same stuff over and over and over again. So I just wanted to share that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing, Lynette. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, people, like you said, people watch. They may not comment, they may not like, but you'll have them in your inbox, or they may remember. And when they think about travel, something's going to trigger, and they're going to think about you. So you hit the nail on the head. People don't always interact with what you do. Of course, we would love interaction. But there are a lot of people who are on Facebook that you were friends with that you may even forgot they have a Facebook page or social media or whatever the case may be. And those are the same people that are watching you every day. That's why I like I don't know if anybody else uses the story feature on like Instagram and Facebook, but if you notice, you can actually see who sees your story on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. And a lot of the people that see your story, I can guarantee, are people that you even forgot had social media accounts, people that you hadn't talked to in ages. But every time you post on your story, that person is watching everything you do. I love that feature on that. And I've been, those are some of the same people that reach out. They may give me a phone call after a while or inbox me, send me an email. Hey, could you take a look at this for me? I want to plan a trip. So people are watching. Even though you don't see the activity or the data all the time, people are actually watching you. Got time for one more. Anybody else want to share anything?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. How you doing?
I'm doing well this evening. How's everybody?
Good.
I have people going on a cruise on the 25th, I think it is, the Soul Train cruise. And the way it came about, it had to be about, I don't know, I actually just gotten out of the hospital, so I wasn't doing any advertising. And this lady called me out of the blue, and she saw me post about my soul. I posted about the Soul Train cruise, and she screenshotted it. And what happened, she was having something like she was sick and going for disability and something. And she said that her people that like family members were really looking out for her financially because she couldn't work. And she said when she got her money, she was going to take them on a cruise. And she remembered, so she screenshotted that, hoping that she could get the money in time. And she did, and her and 5 other people she paid at that time, which I'm thinking was like June of last year or something. And the trip is coming up. So 6 people are going on the cruise. And this is some random woman. I have no idea who she is, never met her in my life. She has to be my Facebook friend. I let her be my friend because, I run a business, so it doesn't matter who my friends are on Facebook. And she saw it and kept it for months and reached out to me. So it does work.
It does work. It does work. So everybody we hear it, everybody's had experience with that. As far as social media, we'll keep this going for a couple more minutes. Anybody else want to share anything?
Yeah, Maurice, this is Jamal again.
Go ahead, Jamal.
This is an agent, one of our colleagues that's on my team. She told me, she sent it to me. She booked a Super Bowl ticket for somebody in her office, and she also has 10 All-Star tickets that she's booking for the All-Star game. I'm not sure when that is, but she's going to earn her Iatan just off them All-Star tickets. And she booked all the travel for everybody in her office. She doesn't advertise online at all. So I want to give her a shout out. I'm not sure if she's on. Her name is McKellar. Mickey, we call her Mickey.
Well, congrats, Mickey. She may listen to the playback. If you all haven't looked yet, I think the lowest rate, me and Jamal talked about this, for a Super Bowl ticket right now, if I'm not mistaken, when I looked, it was $4,900 for the 300 section. I did see a suite that held 15 people, was $809,000. It was available then. It might not be available now, but I guarantee every single one of those tickets will get sold. Every suite will get sold. Somebody's gonna buy it. Somebody's gonna book it. So that's a good point, because we have to also, depending on your niche or what your market is, don't forget you can also leverage events. So many events around the world, from the events here like Essence, Super Bowl, U.S. Open, tennis tournaments, golf tournaments, sporting events, concerts, festivals all throughout the Caribbean. When you think about Carnival and things like that, even Carnival in Toronto. So many events, and especially, thinking about wave season, a lot of people are planning for events for this year that fall in the latter part of the year. Even events, that next couple of months, people are planning for it too. So don't forget about, if you can, if it's within your model, try to incorporate events into your business as well if you can. We'll go to 820. Anybody else want to share anything?
It's Denise. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, Denise, how you doing?
I'm fine. Just as for anybody who wants to get into the music festivals, music getaways, that they do 4 festivals a year. They do the 2 jazz festivals, one in Los Cabos and one in Cancun, and then they also do the Soul Music Festival in Cancun and in Los Cabos. You can register as an agent. They're called musicgetaways.com. And what they do is they give you a booking code, and they send you a flyer where you can advertise all of the events. And you book your clients, and all your clients to get $100 off of their room. And there's no discount for the travel agent, but what they do is any commissions that you have on any orders, if you decide that you want to go, they will apply those commissions to your, well, let me step back. It's 2 ways. If you're independent, they'll apply them to your to your balance, or you can get the it'll go through, if you're with a host, of course. If you're doing it through Extreme, they'll pay Extreme, then you get the commission. The commission is only 5%, so it's a low commission. But if you have people that want to do those music festivals, this would be your opportunity to get into that market, and then you can advertise it, and they're going to get $100 off. So I already have a group that wants to go to the Soul Festival that's going to happen in Cancun, because they actually have reached out to me, and I was just trying to see, how. Let me see. I don't have access to get them in there, and then someone posted in our group, in the TNE group, and in another group, that they had the travel agent affiliate program. So if you really want to get into that market, you can. Because I know, Jamal, you had posted last year the festival that was going on in one of the areas. So now you can actually be one of their travel agents.
It's a great way to market as well. Even if you never sell one of those packages, people see that you do that. It's like any other form of marketing. They get emotional and see that Bonnie James or Kim or I don't know, 2 Live Crew gonna be there. Hey, they may reach out to you for other stuff. So I love doing that for them.
Right. And then what happens is you give them your information and they create the flyer for you. So they'll give you an actual flyer that has your information on about your agency selling that particular music festival. You have to use all of their products for the marketing, but it connects you to that event.
Good stuff. Good exposure. Good exposure. Anybody? And Denise, do you still do a lot of Essence?
No,
Are you
I don't
stepping
really,
away
I
from
don't
that?
do, I don't sell Essence packages. When I go to Essence, I just go with family and friends because we have family out there and we just make it a family thing. But I try to do Essence and Essence is too risky for me. So I
Yeah.
won't do Essence.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started, everyone. As you can see, we're just talking about wave season. So for those of you who don't know what wave season is, it's in the industry, it's been a period between January and March. Arguably the most busy, or the busiest, I'm sorry, period to as far as booking travel. So definitely a time of year, like I said, where people are getting the vacation time, planning for the future. Spring break is around the corner. Even all the way out to Christmas break next year, Thanksgiving, fall break, homecoming, family reunions, sporting events like we mentioned before, summer break, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, everything. So it's the beginning of the year. So definitely a good time to kind of plan ahead and kind of maximize as far as the growth of your client base and your business. And you don't want to miss this opportunity. Now, it's funny, I was reading today, actually, it's a period from January to March, but they're saying that over the years, wave season has kind of evolved and it's spread out to now further out to May, really. And you'll even notice that still, I say within like the first 6 months of the year, you still have people booking last minute for that same calendar year. You still get a lot of activity as far as bookings all the way up into those months. So definitely, you want to kind of maximize your marketing efforts, and you really want to, I would say personally, you want to be efficient in what you do. Definitely not a time to waste time, if that sounds right. But, myself, I don't know if anybody else, if you want to share, but I know for the past couple of weeks, like my phone's it's been crazy. Email messages. I've been literally sitting in front of the computer for the past couple of weeks, actually the past few weeks here, just from, itineraries and customer requests and things like that, groups. So definitely a busy time of the year. Anybody else, before I jump to the next slide, anybody else experiencing the influx this month so far?
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like,
Yes.
go ahead, Denise, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, yes, I was just agreeing, yes.
Yeah, Maurice, it's been busy. I mean, the email, the text, remember me, or my cousin, and I think you got to have a strategy to tackle all of it because even we mentioned in the prior sessions that they're looking. You're not the only person they shopping with.
That's true. That's definitely true. You got to be organized. You got to have everything in line. I hate to say, if you take too much time with some stuff, then they may be on to the next person. They even may just book it online themselves. Not saying that's going to be successful, but people are, and you can kind of sense it as well. There's this sense of urgency. From my experience, during this time of year. So
A lot of last minute, like to me,
yeah,
for June, it's like I had like 4 of them for June requests, but I have to take responsibility because when you start a new marketing strategy, you have to be basically ready for the rush that's gonna come. So about a week ago, because I have my Facebook group, my Facebook page, business page, I have my regular page. Keep every time I talk to somebody, I say I'm gonna try Instagram, but I just can't stay consistent with Instagram. So I finally did I have a Facebook group now, just strictly, we're just, talking about traveling, not really advertising, but just talking about traveling. And within 1 or 2 days, I have like 150 people in there. And some of the people that are in there who are my Facebook friends, who I assumed that they knew that I was a travel agent because I post all the time, on my Facebook page, my Facebook business page and on my personal page. And I had in the group, I asked people who had went on trips with me before to just talk about their trip and what I did for them. So it came really engaged, and all of a sudden within 1 day, I had like 6 people asking for trips for June, saying, I didn't know you were a travel agent and this, and I was like, okay, you're one of my friends on Facebook. I've been travel agent for the last 4 or 5 years and you didn't know. So now I'm realizing that the Facebook private groups and engaging with the people is actually, for me, is starting to work out better than my Facebook business page. Because it's more, I guess it's because it's more engaging and people are able to post and to comment. And but I wasn't ready for that quick draw that came in. So I've been up till after 12 midnight all week trying to quotes and stuff out for people.
Yeah, I certainly agree. And then with the private groups, it's more of a personal level. So yeah, definitely. So people are, as like we said before, people watching, they may not comment or like. Well, in the private groups, then you're going to get, like you said, more interaction from people in that kind of setting. So it's more of a virtual, intimate setting than just posting on your page where you have people that are on your friends list you may not know, or never just interact with you at all, or you may not even. Yeah, so definitely is more of a personal setting.
One of them was my family member, and we're at the holiday parties all the time, and the other family members were always going on. She's been on some of our family group trips, and I'm sitting here like, how you didn't know I was the travel agent?
See, and Denise, we all know you're consistent in what you do. It's just some people they just miss it.
Yeah, she missed it all the way around.
Yeah, some people just miss it. Definitely. So one of the things that we want to talk about, I actually want to talk about some of the positives as far as what you could do during this period of time. And one of the things is, make sure you qualify your clients. So no matter how busy you are, you want to make sure you qualify the client. One of the reasons is, like we said, Denise just mentioned, I mentioned before, Jamal mentioned, if you're getting a lot of requests, or if you're not organized and efficient, then you can miss another opportunity. So you want to qualify the client so that you can make sure you're presenting them with the right solution that's going to fit their needs. Because, like I said, it's a sense of urgency. If you don't do that, then they're on to the next person, or they're going to try to book it themselves. They're going to try to find another outlet or source to actually get what they need done. So you definitely want to make sure you qualify. Now, me, myself, as far as qualifying, what I do is I send them through a customer profile where they just fill out, they answer some questions. Or I may just set up a consultation over the phone and I go through those same questions with them over the phone. Me personally, I like to have a phone conversation with my clients. That way, you hear their voice, they hear your voice. I'm not just behind an email address or a computer screen, and we can kind of talk and just have an open conversation about what they're looking for. And to me, that's just part of that relationship building process that's going to help you really close the deal on that particular client. So that's just how I personally do it. Some people don't like to talk. They're just busy, especially, if you work with a lot of professionals and they prefer to communicate via email or messenger or text message, something like that. I have clients that all they want to do is just text message, but that's their preferred, that's where they're comfortable. That's their preferred form of communication. So, but me, myself, I love to have that 5 to 10 minute conversation. I can kind of get a feel of what you're looking for. You can get a feel of where I'm coming from with my business and just try to close the deal from there. So you definitely want to qualify the client. I mean, we should be doing this anyway, but especially during this time of year when there's so many people looking to travel. Anybody want to add to that? Any method that you use as far as qualifying?
Yeah, Maurice, this is Jamal.
Go ahead, Jamal.
I agree with what you said. Sometimes when you can talk to that person, it's almost like you can connect a little bit better. And some people, like you said, you never even talk to them. It's all text. I mean, only time you hear from them if something's wrong, that's when you'll get a phone call. But I definitely would say, yeah, qualify your client. But that's one way of creating a paper trail or a funnel. The funnel is what the word I was looking for. Because now that person, they may not be ready right now. They may not be ready 6 months from now. But y'all not going to have a problem if you have that professionalism and they come back with you with a group of people that say, yeah, me and my friends want to do X, Y, Z. Because sometimes they may get in contact with you and you give them all this information to do, right? Client profile sheet. By the way, I don't have a client profile sheet, but I'm not letting that stop me from getting that deposit, right? So that right there can turn into like your mouthpiece. They go tell other people when somebody else is looking for a trip. So I always say, go ahead and qualify your client. Create that sense of professionalism. Don't look at it as a sale right now. But I think sometimes we looking for the right now sale. And that's not what sales is all about. You got to think the long game on this right here. It's nice to get that deposit or get that sale right then. But think long. If you think long, you'll always have people in your pipeline. You'll never feel like you don't have clients because you may have talked to a client in December. Guess what? Christmas time, everybody was kind of like stagnant. Now, what if you reached out to everybody who filled out one of those forms or you talked to, hey, Happy New Year, just letting you know I got great deals, thought about you, whatever it is, to kind of break the ice, for the follow-up. So just kind of get you a method because I'm telling you, they're coming.
Definitely. And like Denise said, you got to be ready. So if you're going to step out there, be ready for the wave. Be ready for it. Good stuff. So after we qualify the client, we want to make sure that we set the right expectations. And what I mean by that is we want to ask, we want to set our expectations, but we want to know their expectations too. So we want to ask our clients about their timeline. Some people may be in a hurry, like we've mentioned before a few times now. So they may be expecting a quote back within a week, or they may be expecting a quote back by the end of that very same day. So just make sure that you're on the same page. So that way you can follow up in a timely manner, and you want to make sure you meet their needs. So, I mean, we should be doing this, like I said, any but you definitely want to make sure that you're meeting their needs, because we really don't want a loss of a client or of a potential, a potential client. So definitely want to set expectations on both ends. The third one, the last one, is follow-up. We always talk about follow-up. Follow-up is so important. We want to follow up with people. People get busy. Life happens. But we want to follow up just to make sure that, all of this whole process is part of just closing the deal. So, they may have questions and they just, may be afraid to ask, or, sometimes it just takes a phone call. Hey, did you get the quote I sent you? And that just opens up a conversation. You just, clarify some things with them. And then that just helps. I had that happen actually yesterday with a client. Hadn't heard from them in a couple of days. I sent a quote out, reached out, and they had a couple questions about a cruise as opposed to actually a Virgin cruise, as opposed to an all-inclusive we were looking at, and I answered questions, and they decided to go ahead and put down on a deposit on what we initially talked about. So, you know, just make sure that we're following up. You know, people get busy. Just like we get busy, our clients get busy. This is what we do full time, but they're not always thinking about travel. So definitely, we just can't stress enough how important follow-up is. So anyone want to add anything as far as their follow-up process?
Yeah, Maurice, it's Jamal again. I know sometimes we send things out and we forget. I do it all the time. I'm going to raise my hand on that. But the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Sales is all about nurturing the relationship. All about nurturing a relationship. And you don't want to be pushy, you know, but just find a great way to follow up. Hey, how are the kids? It could be anything. And if you don't know how to follow up, I want you to go to Google, go to YouTube, get you some books, because the things that we lack, we can learn. I'm going to say that again. The things that we lack, we can learn. Because I don't know everything about this, but I do know when I sent out over 300 quotes, when I got a database of 300 people that I talked to, guess what? They may got lost in the email. They might have been frying chicken. Who knows what they were doing? But is it hard for me to pick a day and go down my list and say, hey, just reaching out to you, making sure everything okay with the family, haven't heard from you in a while, you're a friendly travel agent. I ain't say nothing about sales. I just say when you're ready, with deposit, you made me look. But God, just be proactive, because when you're proactive like that, I'm telling you, all you're doing is planting seeds. You're creating real estate in their mind about what you do. And that person may not even be the person that books with you, but I'm telling you what is happening to me, and I'm seeing it. I'm getting more requests from people who told other people about me. And these people may not booked, may have went in the witness protection program, but just work on your follow-up. And your follow-up would be good, because when they get these taxes, guess what? The money's already spent. You just want them to give you some of it. Is that okay if they give somebody some of this money they're about to get?
Oh, yeah.
So always follow up. You know, and I'm not saying call them every week. Get you a schedule, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Whatever it is, make sure you follow up, guys, because you know, people got lives going on. Y'all know how long it takes to fry some chicken. You got to clean it, coat it, fry it. You get busy. That's all, Maurice.
That's good stuff. That's perfect going into the next point, because we're going to talk about the things that you shouldn't be doing. And, you know, as far as we should be following up, we shouldn't assume that our clients will actually remember to call us. And you just kind of touched on that too. So by overcoming this, everything that we've done up to this point should actually combat this. So as far as being consistent with our business, as far as marketing and attraction marketing and things we talked about before. So if that's sending out a newsletter weekly, if it's, you know, social media posts, me, myself, I've been using a lot of, like I said, the story feature on social media to kind of, you know, keep travel in the forefront of people's mind. Whatever you're doing, just be consistent. And what you're doing is you're actually prepping that person to book with you in the future. But if you're not regularly communicating with your clients in some way, you don't have to call them and try to sell a package to them, anything like that. Because I know we're getting a lot of emails from vendors and suppliers as far as packages and deals and promos. But if you're just consistent with what you're doing, whatever your outlet may be, if it's even going to a physical networking meeting every week, or, you know, whatever you may do, as long as you're consistent with that communication, then I can guarantee that person's going to reach out to you, refer you, or somebody's going to reach out to you as far as planning their travel eventually. So we definitely don't want to assume that they're going to remember to call us. The second thing that we don't want to do is be seduced by these easy bookings. So if it's something that really, you know, if it's easy, low commission, and it falls out the scope of your target market, then sometimes, like I always say, you got to say no, and you can pass that along to someone else, or you can refer them to another outlet. But you definitely, during this time of year, you don't want to do that, because now you're wasting your time on something that's really not going to be as productive, or it's not going to contribute to your overall goal for the year, or whatever it may be. And you may miss out on another opportunity. So if it's not a fit for your brand, if it's not a fit for what you're trying to do, you know, and don't think that just because you refer somebody to someone else that you're losing that client as well. You can just let them know, hey, I don't book, and I'm just using an example, I don't book Vegas packages, but I have an associate or a colleague that actually is a Vegas specialist. I'm going to refer you to her. You know, she'll take care of you. But when you're ready to take your trip to Europe next year, we already got things in the works. So, you know, just contact me and we'll plan that for you. And then just let that other, you know, your colleague know as well, hey, this is my client, but, you know, I really can't waste my time with, not waste my time, but, well, yeah, waste my time. But it just falls out of the scope of what I'm trying to do. And if you can take care of this for me. So don't be seduced by the easy bookings. The third one is don't overwhelm your clients with too many offers. So, and this is any time really, you don't want to just bombard people with, you know, promo after promo after promo after deal after deal. Because what you're going to do eventually is going to confuse your audience, especially if you have a niche that you're actually focusing on and you're trying to target a certain market. You don't want to just overwhelm them with a river cruise, and then you hit them with a trip to Alaska, and then it's you know, all-inclusive, and then a trip to Greece. So, you know, whatever your market is, you want to focus on that market, especially during this time, so you can actually maximize on who you're trying to attract. Give me 1 second here. All right. So like I said, we're getting a lot of deals via social media, email. You'll notice this time of year, a lot of the vendors and suppliers are holding trade shows over the next few months. Following that period, you're going to see a lot of film trips and travel. So, you know, just because it's there doesn't mean, you know, it's a fit for your business. So, you know, just because we get an email, if it's not a fit for your market, then you don't want to confuse people by sending out every single piece of literature that you get. You want to have a method to your madness, as they say. So definitely don't want to overwhelm your clients with too many offers. So it's about 8:44. We got about 6 or 7 more minutes. What I actually wanted to do, I wanted to actually, anybody friends with BDM, sales representatives, or anything like that on their social media from different resorts, hotels, brands, tourism boards?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So if you notice, especially this time of year, they give out a lot of tips and a lot of material that you can use to actually help promote your business during this time of year. So I just wanted to share something that I did this past week. And it was a BDM that I'm friends with on Facebook from AIC Hotel Group. And he made a post, and he always makes posts like these that really, because at the end of the day, if they can help you sell their brand, then that's good for them, right? So, of course, they're going to give you every resource and every tip they can to help you actually be successful. So I'm gonna read this post. So he wrote, this was on Monday. Growing up, we were always told not to brag. Well, as adults in a busy travel industry, bragging is now an art. See what I mean below. And then he wrote, social media post number 1. I am so busy and working into the night, finally eating dinner and hoping to catch some sleep. Gotta love travel. Now, how many of us are experiencing that lifestyle right now?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody? Oh, there we go. So I know myself. I was on the phone with a vendor. I fell asleep at 6:45. I had a conference at 7 p.m. I woke up at like 6:59, got on my conference call, and then had to get prepared for this. So that's just how my day's been going recently. But I'm gonna read the social media post number 2 that he put. So that's the lifestyle a lot of us are living right now, right? With it being so busy. Let me share this beautiful Caribbean honeymoon I am working on for, and then parentheses, tag your honeymooners. This is shown on their timeline too. Okay, when you tag somebody, it's going to, their network is exposed to that. They will be enjoying 6 nights in this Mexican paradise featuring chef-inspired cuisine, mixology featuring the newest gin trends, and of course, adding relaxation and adventure with the included spa and tours. And then he says, include eye-catching pictures as well. So, and then he wrote, so no ponder both scenarios as a consumer. Option 1, well, they must be too busy to help me with my dream trip. So, of course, if someone sees that, you're not getting any sleep, you're busy working into the night, don't even have time to eat dinner. If you're sharing that on your page and people see it, then yeah, they will actually think, okay, I want to plan a trip to Hawaii, but I know he's too busy, so I'm not even going to bother and waste his time. Option 2, wow, if they set them up with this dream trip, I wonder if they can help me with my dream trip to blank, wherever. So he put in 2020, reevaluate your bragging and show off, in caps, your art and not your process. So just think about that for a second. So I read that and I was like, you know what? That's so true. So I did a post right then about a trip that I had just booked for a client to Portugal, Spain for 7 days. It's a friend of mine I went to college with, and she and her friend, they book a trip with me every single year around the fall time, around their birthdays. So I made a post and shared it on social media, and I followed that same format. I put what I was working on, and I include pictures of the hotel and the tours and whatnot. I didn't tag her in the post because I know she's one of those people that watches everything, but doesn't interact. And within that hour, she commented on the post because, of course, if that's your trip, you're going to claim it, right? She commented on the post, said, thank you very much for helping me, something to that nature. And she shared the post on her page and wrote her own excerpt. And that post had like 15 comments. This all happened within a matter of a couple of hours, 15 comments. And out of those 15, I had 2 consultations yesterday. Now, he posted this Monday. This all happened in a matter of a few days. And these were people who were actually planning to go to Portugal themselves. One is in October, the same time she's going, and then one is actually in July. So I just found that kind of powerful, to look at it from a different perspective because, we like to share our business and what we're doing and share the grind. But sometimes if we share the grind, it could actually deter people. So we want to share what we're doing, but like he said, instead of showing the process, we can show the product, kind of show off, what we're working on, but not what it's actually taking us to get there. Not that fact that it's 3 a.m. I hadn't slept, or, not the fact that, I've been stuck in front of the computer for the last 3 weeks. We want to show the beautiful pictures, the videos and whatnot of what we're actually working on for our clients. If you think they'll like it, tag them on it. Now you expose their entire network or ask them to share it on their page. Even after people travel, you can say, hey, and I do this a lot, after people travel, I'll share some content from their travel, whether it be pictures or video, tag them on it. And that way people know, okay, this is who planned her travel. Let me go ahead and reach out. So I just thought that was pretty powerful as far as, and it just shows the power of social media. I mean, how many people you can actually reach just by one particular post or whatnot. So it is 8:50. We can just close out with anybody want any comments, questions, anybody want to share anything you've experienced. I know quite a few people jumped on after we started. Any experiences you've had yourself these first couple weeks in January as far as wave season. And if you're not getting the influx of calls of clients, don't be deterred. Don't worry about it. It's a process. Like we said, but be sure to evaluate your marketing tactics. Some people don't market on social media. I highly recommend that you do. And like I said, that's not always posting deals. Attraction marketing is powerful. I don't always post deals on my page. If I post anything about a trip or anything, it's going to be a group trip that I'm actually hosting. But other than that, I'm going to post content that's going to attract people to my page, attract people to my brand, and then try to convert them from there to a client. So anybody want to share anything?
Yes.
I do.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I've already.
No, you go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback off of what he said. This is Lynette Clark again.
Okay.
What I've noticed just from my own personal experience, people watch, like I said before, they watch your story. I put just random stuff in my story, just random stuff about trips, or if I did some cruises or have a cruise that I'm trying to push or something like that. Whereas I was getting 1 or 2 views, now I'm getting 70 and 80 views now. And people are actually hitting me back saying, hey, I want to do what you're doing, or I want to participate now. And they may not book, but then they might send somebody else and they actually do book. So that's what I'm finding that's happening regularly just because of the story posts that you talked about.
There we go. Those stories, like I said, and you can see who's watching it. And, I stalk people pages. I tell you, somebody's watching my story consistently, I'm going to go to their profile. I'm going to see, what they like. And some of my stories do specifically target people that I know if they're interested in something that I'm actually, that's part of the scope of my business, then that story is going to target them. Especially on Instagram. If you don't use Instagram, you got to get on Instagram. You got to.
Maurice.
It's Tasha.
Hey.
Oh.
I want to commend those individuals. The new people have just been. I think Lynette had mentioned she just sits back and she's been watching. But for those individuals who are kind of getting out of their comfort zone and doing different things, doing things that they would normally do to get their business name out there and to let their followers know what they're doing. And I also wanted to share, I'm not sure who it was that I think it may have been Lynette that had mentioned about really not being on Instagram. But Instagram and Facebook have a way where if you post something on one thing, it'll show up on the if you post something on Facebook, it'll show up on Instagram. And so I had to kind of share that with my daughter, who is constantly on Instagram, but she's trying to reach different markets. So I told her, those individuals that are not on Instagram, they're on Facebook. So make it, have it where whatever you share on Instagram is shared on your Facebook page as well. So Maurice may be able to help you with that. Jamal may be able to help you with that. But to the point where you can utilize another platform to get your business out.
Definitely. Thanks for bringing that up, Tasha. It'll link with Lynette. It links with
Instagram,
Facebook, and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way so if I post on my business Instagram, it's linked to my business Facebook page. So if I post, because for some reason I can't even post to my business Facebook story unless I post it from my Instagram, which is cool because I post it to my story on Instagram, and then I share it to my Facebook story, and then it's in both places. Because you do have different, followers on each platform. Some people follow both, but you do have different followers on each platform. So I try to share it on all. I share it on my personal, on Facebook, personal, Instagram, business on both. I share it everywhere, just because you never know who's watching you. Especially with Instagram. Well, Facebook stories too, you can actually make it public to where anybody can see your story. even if they're not your friend or your follower, they can actually see it. I think someone else
Oh,
wanted to share.
Tamika, yes.
Tamika? Okay.
Yes, I wanted to just say the consistency, being consistent definitely goes a long ways when it comes to the social media realm, because like, especially if you work from home and you're not really seeing a lot of people, the social media is going to be your best friend. And so for me, I had some clients that just went out of town and came back, and I have I'm doing a women's retreat, the accommodations for the women's retreat in Stone Mountain, and they did like this big shout out to me, my business name and all of that or whatever. And I was able to they shared it on the page on the what you call it, the group page. It's a private group, but it's just a group of women. So they shared it on the page, and then they shared it on my Instagram. So I was able to reshare it like on my story and all of that. So that a whole bunch of people are saying that and reached out to me as well, and even inquired about the actual women's retreat. So that's more people come to that particular event that she wasn't even expecting. So yeah, that story thing is everything.
Definitely is. Yeah. I think someone else wanted to. Anyone else want to share? We still got a few minutes.
Hey,
No one. We have any. Go ahead.
I just want to thank y'all for being consistent with keeping this going, allowing the information to flow so everybody can get a piece of it. I mean, I'm on and off because I'm doing so many different things, but I just say thank y'all for, allowing y'all to get a time to be able to share the information that y'all do for us.
Definitely. That's Dwayne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Thank y'all for tuning in because, everybody, sharing information and sharing testimonies, we can all learn and grow from that because none of us know 100% of the information. It's an ever evolving industry. I can guarantee there's scenarios I've experienced that Denise hasn't. There's experienced, scenarios she's faced that, that I've never even thought of. And, just all across the board. So, just by sharing alone, just, helps everybody grow. Even those that just do the playback in the group who can't get on these sessions. We never know who we're touching right now, just by having these conversations. So definitely. Anybody else?
And stay consistent. To kind of give you an analogy, you don't go get in shape in the gym going one day. Does anybody get in shape going to the gym for one day?
I wish.
3 days or a week? You gotta be consistent. And you gotta practice some business patience. You're a brand new business, or you might be a business that's relaunching. But I guarantee you this, you're not paying no employees. You don't have to go get a new sign for your building. You don't have to rearrange stuff in a store. So sometimes I feel like what we have is so good to be true. I just know sometimes we can kind of get frustrated, get caught up in the moment when things aren't going the way we want to. But don't get attracted to the check. Get attracted to the work, because when you do the work, the money will come, the results will come. But if all you focus on is the what's not happening, you're gonna get more of that. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's had people that didn't book with them, or you're posting on your page and you feel like you're not getting the kind of comments and likes. But I'm gonna tell you like this: don't you post for no likes. We're not in middle school where you got the nicest shirt on and everybody's commenting on it. That's not what you in this for. It's not a popularity contest. You got to be consistent with whatever you're trying to you push. And some Maurice mentioned attraction marketing. Some of us are doing distraction marketing. You're not consistent with what you're trying to portray, and that right there shows in the results that you may have. So you got to be consistent, even when you think it's not working. See, what happens is we want to work on the business, and we want to have all these results, right? But we don't see what the business is doing to us. The business is working on us too. So when you think it's not working, no, it's working. It's working on you too. You got to work on your customer service skills, your follow up, being organized, professionalism, and your personal development. So the business is working. You're just not getting the results that you want to see right away. So I just always say remain consistent in everything you're doing and always be professional, even if the person try to bring you down to their level as well when it comes to professionalism.
Good stuff. So I guess we didn't need Nikki to close us out. Jamal just did it for us. So, man, it's a good session. It was recorded. We'll post a link for the virtual playback in the group shortly. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you next Thursday, 8 o'clock.
Good night.